A lot of the time I'm doing questions and um if I'm getting them wrong, I'm not necessarily understanding like the root cause of why I'm getting them wrong. So I
Same.
can kind of progress and learn from those mistakes. So I kind of feel like I've been going in like a bit of a loophole this past month
Yeah,
and yeah, I definitely thought that now is a good
got
time
it.
to seek some tutoring help as well with reading comprehension too. I find I need to improve my timing as I'm kind of obviously it's a race against the clock for sure,
Yeah,
but I feel like I gotta find the balance between going quickly and also trying to comprehend as much of the information as I can. So I feel like that's a bit of a been a bit of a
great.
challenge as well.
Yeah, through this.
And I totally agree with Sam that you should be going for a minimum of 165, because if you use the correct strategies, correct approach, and actually put in the time, you will see how manageable the test is. So this is one of the questions you did. But before we go over it, I just want to say something. Do not worry about the time. The time will come as long as you know the material. So don't get distracted. Oh, the timer is going down. That's irrelevant. To become like a good boxer, you want to be able to have the correct punching technique. Then do it faster and faster. You can't do it fast if you don't have the proper technique. So master the technique, then master the time. So if possible, I just want you to read this first. I want you to read the question type and
Mhm.
identify your task. Can you please do that? So
Sure.
the question type is written here.
Yeah, which one of the following is an assumption on which the argument depends? So that would be a necessary assumption question.
Exactly. And for necessary assumption, you think about what is absolutely necessary to assume. For example, if you say to me, Manitoba will reach 30 degrees tomorrow, you're necessarily assuming that it will also be above 20 degrees. Or if you assume that you have $1,000, you're also assuming that you have 500. So you want to find the thing that is absolutely necessary. So if possible, I want you to read this thing
Hmm.
and I want you to share your thoughts, but don't treat it like an email or a text. You want to look for the assumption and do not go into the answers yet, please. When you finish, please let me know.
Should I read it aloud?
Any way that helps you.
Okay, I can read it out loud. Computer manufacturers have sought to make computer chips ever smaller, since decreasing the size of a computer's central processing unit, CPU chip, without making that CPU chip any less sophisticated, will proportionally increase the speed of the CPU chip and the computer containing it. But since the CPU chips cannot be made sophisticated or significantly smaller without decreasing their sophistication, computers cannot currently be made significantly faster.
So, my first question is, where is the conclusion?
Uh, the conclusion's the last sentence there, but since computers cannot be made significantly smaller without decreasing their sophistication, that the
Mm,
computers cannot be made
I
significantly
just
faster.
have a small correction. I would say the
Yeah,
conclusion is just this part. Because the
right.
first part has the word since, that means this part
The
is the
premise.
support. But either way,
Right.
that's a great job. And Tristan, in LSAT, a lot of the questions have shifts. That means they jump from A to B without justification. For example, they talk about men's height, then they talk about overall human height population, or they talk about rats, then they talk about animals in general. Do you notice any unjustified shifts or anything that raises a red flag to you?
Um, yeah, just jumps to a conclude, but just or yeah, jumps right away to CPU chips cannot be made significantly smaller. Um,
Mm, okay, okay, not bad. But where would you say the main piece of evidence for the argument is? Here, right? Kind of
yeah,
like what you said. And the conclusion was this part, right?
right.
So, as you said, it jumps from a smaller chips to
Pardon me. Jumps to
it
smaller.
jumps. from like having a smaller chips to faster.
Yeah, the
So you're
faster.
kind of jumping from a small chips to computer being faster. And do you notice how like that's a jump? Because
Yeah.
it says, oh, if we can't make something get smaller, we can't make it faster. And that should be like something that you think about while reading the passage. And in our sessions, if we have sessions, we are going to talk about how to get good at predictions. You want to find the answer here before going on, and you want to be hyper aware of all the jumps. So, as you kind of mentioned, we jump from, I just want to hear it from your own words.
Yeah, we jump from the statement saying that CPU chips cannot be made significantly smaller, to
Mm,
saying that they also cannot be made significantly faster.
exactly. So, what
So
is the
we got
assumption here?
that the assumption that since they cannot be made since they cannot be made significantly smaller without decreasing their sophistication, that automatically means they cannot be made faster.
Exactly. So, you already know the answer before going on. This helps you save time and not struggle with these because these would be trap answer choices for you. They make so many traps, but now you know what you're looking for. So, can you please go into the answers?
Yeah, computer chips cannot be currently made faster unless their CPU chips are made smaller. Um, I think it's C, right?
Mm, that's not a bad answer, but it's not very close to what you predicted. You're saying if both the size and sophistication, like in your prediction, you didn't talk about sophistication. And the passage doesn't talk about sophistication that much, right? So why are you assuming anything about sophistication? If the argument is not about sophistication, why do we have to necessarily assume something about it? We shouldn't.
Yeah,
And
but there's just the sophistication in the last premise there before
here,
no,
but
further down there, second last line. Sophistication there, the first word of the second last line.
like I understand, but like it's just like that's not like I understand and I should have been more clear, but the problem is like that's not the main point. The main point you identified is smaller too, faster. And what C is doing, it says if both the size and sophistication of a CPU chip are decreased, the speed will decrease. Like it's combining and mismatching it. Like it's making a salad. And if both the size and sophistication of a CPU chip are decreased, we
Yeah.
don't talk about like combining both of them. And that's not like too much relevant.
Yeah, Tristan, what Sina's trying to say is that it is a trap. I can see how C is a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% a trap choice because it's now talking about the size and sophistication being decreased at the same time,
Hmm.
right? And then it says the speed of that chip will decrease. So you're trying to see how to essentially how to match your own prediction that you made here. You can't see my mouse, right? You can't see my cursor. Yeah, never mind.
Oh.
Sina, you're sharing your screen. Got it. Yeah. You're trying to see how you can match the prediction that you made in the question stem to the answer choice, right? So let's read the conclusion one more time.
But since CPU chips cannot be made significantly smaller without decreasing their sophistication, computers cannot currently be made significantly faster.
And if I may say something,
Please.
your prediction, Tristan, was what was the jump?
Basically, how does the CPU chips being made significantly smaller kind of impact um, the speed of the computers? Kind of, we gotta bridge that gap, right?
Exactly. And your what I sorry, I wasn't clear. What I meant is in your prediction, you don't even talk about sophistication. So when you go into the answers, you want to narrow it down to
Yeah. So
a
then it'd
small
be
chip and a speed.
yeah. So then it'd be A, right? So computers cannot currently be made faster unless their CPU chips are made smaller.
Yes, and maybe the word unless tripped you
Yeah.
up. The
Hmm.
word unless means, for example, if I tell you, we will go to the beach unless it rains. What does that mean? That means
Yeah, if it rains, we won't go to the beach.
mm,
Or wait, beach unless it rains, right? Yeah,
we will go to the beach unless it rains. That means if we don't go to the beach, that means
it
it
rains.
has
Yeah.
rained. So if it doesn't rain, we will go to the beach. And I will elaborate in our future sessions how to set up these diagrams because these diagrams help you put it into logic terms and it's very, very powerful. So when it tells you unless, you should be able to immediately in your head wrap your mind around it. That's something we will work on, getting used to tricky language. And if you didn't have this prediction in mind, it's very challenging because C might be
Yeah.
right, E might be right. That's why I encourage you to predict. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of want to have you don't want to go into the answer key just blind with no idea.
Exactly. And focus on your prediction usually. Let's just do this one. Or
Yeah, whatever,
which
whatever.
one do you want to do? I will let you pick this one or this one.
Doesn't matter to me. Whatever works. I'll
Let me
do
pick.
both
Let's
on.
do 11. Let's try to do 11.
Okay.
Okay.
So Tristan, if it's okay, can you read this one out loud as well?
Yeah, so I always got to read the question stem first,
Yes.
but the reasoning in the argument above is most vulnerable to criticism on the grounds that it involves a confusion between.
Tristan, sorry, continue. What is your task?
Um, so it would be a weakening question, right? But we're also trying to figure out what the confusion in the argument is between.
Exactly. How I would process it
Oh,
is
right?
I would look for the flaw. Like as you're reading, you should look for the flaw. It's not going to magically come to you if you reach the end word. So as you're reading, you want to find the flaw. So
For sure.
hopefully by the time you get to the end, you can tell me the flaw. Please continue.
Could I actually read in my head last time, read out loud, kind of,
Okay.
I don't know. I find I'm better reading
Yeah,
in my
Tristan.
head.
Yeah, exactly. Do it in the way
Yeah,
that actually helps you
okay,
process it. Just
for sure.
focus on yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of narrowed it down to two, I think.
Okay. And before you tell me your answer, where is the conclusion?
Uh, it's the last sentence. This definitely undermines environmentalist claim that pollution is eliminating many of these species every year.
And which two answer choices are you between?
I'm between C and D.
Okay, not bad, but I really want us to predict before going on. Like, it's such a powerful tool, and I know it might be annoying, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So, Tristan, do you notice any jumps here? What is the premise about?
Um, just about how there's been many more species of amphibians than previously known,
Yes.
and then kind of the second sentence jumps to a claim about how that undermine the environmentalist claim that the pollution
Okay.
is limiting many of those species.
Yes. So we kind of jump from our knowledge to our knowledge to what? Eliminating of a species, elimination of a
Yeah.
species, right? But
So
our knowledge of how many species of amphibians there are doesn't change how many of them are eliminated, right? Maybe I will go to an underwater cave, I discover 800 new fishes, a species. Does that mean that the number of species are increasing?
no, not necessarily.
Yes, so
Wait.
just because we become more aware of the species
Yeah.
doesn't mean that the number is actually going up or down.
Yeah, for sure. Became aware of new things. You could have made new discoveries.
Exactly. Doesn't mean that like it's impacting that thing. We just became aware of them. So that's the flaw. Like that's the thing I want you to take away before going into the answers. Like if you don't take that away, it's going to be very challenging to answer. So now do you want to read all the answer choices again?
Yeah, for sure. A, kinds of things and the things that are of those kinds. Well, I know that one's wrong, but I don't know exactly how I would explain it, but it just sounds off kind of thing.
Okay.
Doesn't I don't know how I would kind of relate that claim to the stimulus.
Okay. Do you want to pick one that you like?
Okay. Oh, you want me to pick I would say D.
A correlation between two phenomena and a causation relationship between them. If you pick this answer, you have to tell me where the correlation is. What is what is the correlation in the argument?
So basically the second sentence says basically making the claim that the environmentalist claim was wrong for saying that pollution is eliminating many of the species because they just found out that many more amphibian species had been discovered.
So I would say the thing you mentioned, the second sentence, pollution is eliminating, you can say pollution is causing a species to go down.
Yeah.
Pollution is causing elimination of a species. But there is no correlation here. Or they are not jumping from a correlation to a causation. Like this answer choice
It would be
D
a cause and effect.
would be like, oh, ice cream sales are up, shark attacks are up. Therefore, ice cream sales cause shark attacks. But that's not correct, right? It's just a correlation.
Yeah.
Correlation means two things that are varying with each other, like shark attacks and ice cream sales. Causation means something that causes another thing. For example, summer weather causes ice cream sales to go up, and summer
Right.
weather causes shark attacks. So this is a causation.
Yeah, so it would be C because they're saying that the pollution is not having the cause that they initially thought, and since the discovery of the new amphibians, that proves that the pollution is not eliminating species. So then it'd be yeah the cause and effect. So choice C would be correct then, right?
Not bad, but the answer choice is E. Like you're too focused on cause and effect. The argument is not like focusing that much on the cause and effect. The argument doesn't mention even pollution in the premises. The premises don't talk about causation, right? Where in the first sentence do you see a causation or a correlation happening? There is no causation.
Yeah.
The only causation happens at the end. Pollution is eliminating many of these species. We are not like, for example, if it said in the premises, pollution is eliminating fishes, and that's the premise. Then the conclusion was like, oh, the fishes are causing pollution, then that would be a cause and effect problem or a causation issue. Or for example, I can just like quickly type it. Like if the premise is pollution causes fishes to die, then the conclusion was fishes dying causes pollution. Then answer choice or C would be attractive. Here, the gap or the jump we identified was from our knowledge of something to
To just what happened in real
ex-
life.
like if I find 800 fishes in an underwater cave, that doesn't mean new species are suddenly emerging. Or if I
Yeah,
see,
it's like, sorry if
Yeah.
I could interfere. Tristan, it's like just because Mount Everest, let's say, was discovered in 1756 doesn't mean that Mount Everest wasn't there before 1756, right?
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. So that's why
Yeah.
E is basically changes in our knowledge of objects and changes in the objects themselves, right? Just because there's more amphibians now than we had known before, or that
Yeah.
we just discovered they were always there.
I
This
don't know.
this this is a tough question, Tristan. I totally understand.
Yeah.
I feel the pressure on him. It's
Mm.
it's certainly not easy to wrap your head around.
The wording in answer
I
choice E,
know. Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like what?
It got me too. It got me too. Yeah. Well, Sina is a genius, so he can detect
Mm.
any discrepancy. But
And
when it comes, oh man, this stuff is not easy.
No.
Stuff is not easy. But yeah, focus. So Tristan, what I would recommend is that focus really on understanding the question itself and making your prediction. And
Hmm.
once you have that prediction in mind, then just hunt for that prediction in the answer choices. That's what Sina is trying to. That makes
Yeah, for
sense.
sure.
Yeah, don't try to even understand every single answer choice on its own separately. Try to really focus on that prediction and what is the flaw,
Yeah.
right? What is that
Yeah,
jump?
yeah, for sure.
Why did it
Hmm.
all of a sudden go? Biologists have learned that there are many more species of amphibians in existence than had previously been known. Great. Okay. Cool. We just learned that there are more amphibians than we previously knew, right? And now all of a sudden it's like, whoa, this definitely undermines the claim that pollution is eliminating many of these species every year, right? It
Yeah.
is. Yeah. It's a tough question. Sina, go ahead.
mm,
I'll let you continue.
and Tristan, like, don't worry, like, as long as you learn from your mistakes and not repeat them, your
Yeah.
score is going to jump so much. And I would say, like, even if you just focus on logical reasoning questions for a bit, because logical reasoning has double the weight, it will lead to like faster improvements because there are
For sure.
two logical reasoning sections on the test, and it
Yeah.
makes it more manageable. But as long as you don't make the same mistakes multiple times, then you're fine. Like, don't be intimidated